Hello, a very good morning to you all. I hope you're doing well today. It is quite an overcast Monday, and I know we're getting a little bit of snow in certain places, so we're spring. I hope you're well today. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late coming in. I had a few camera issues that I'm hoping have been resolved. So drop me a comment, let me know if you can see and hear me okay, if my sound and picture quality is okay. A little bit darker, still waiting on my new stand and lamp to kind of brighten up my table a little bit. But today we're going to be making some really pretty earrings. I've called them the Simone Satin Pearl earrings. We've got some beautiful little satin beads. We've got 4 colours for you today, but we've bundled them together. So you're going to make 3 pairs of earrings within your kit if you get the kit from Totally Beads, and they've got 2 colours in each. So we've got 2 on a lovely gold and 2 on a lovely silver, which is going to make 3 pairs of earrings up for you. I'll show you them down on the mat really quickly so you can see what they look like. So I'm going for this lovely kind of circular motif with the beads. Now I am using a little bit of wire with this. I'm using about, for each earring, I'm using about 12 inches, so 30 centimetres of a 0.3mm wire, which is 28 gauge. But if you prefer, you can do this on a thread if you want to. I would suggest you use 2 needles because we're going to be doing like a right angle type weave. So we've got some beautiful colours, and they are really straightforward to do, just to create that rounded shape, which I think they're very pretty earrings, but they're not too large. I wouldn't quite call them statement earrings. So I will take you over to the website very shortly and I will show you those. So I'm going to say a quick good morning to the lovely Lisa. She says, good morning, Natalie and everybody. Good morning to Rachel in a cold and overcast Barrow. I've not really been out much today because it's half term, so it looks cold. I'll take your word for it. Good morning to Jean. I hope you're doing well. Jan says good morning, and she can see and hear me okay, which is great. And Elaine is in as well in a chilly Accrington. So I hope you're all having a nice start to the week. I'm going to take you over to the Totally Beads website now so you can have a little look at these. Now, don't forget, we do have an offer on at the moment still. So we've got some huge savings for you. Hopefully you can see that okay. I will scroll down a little bit. So you can see here we've got an offer on. We can get some money off depending on how much you're ordering. If you enter these little codes in at checkout, and I'm not sure when that lasts up to, but I know that it's still definitely on today. So if you head over to the video tutorial category and have a little scroll down, you can check it out in the making jewellery section as well. You can see here, if we scroll, we've got the Simone earrings for you. So as I say, there's 2 kits today. You've got your silver little collection, and you've got your gold, like a champagne gold collection as well. So this makes 3 pairs of earrings up. And you've got the most beautiful satin pearls. I do love the satin pearls. I made the satin pearls with the wire bracelets. In fact, I've got one of those to hand I'll bring over, but I was using a different size bead on these. So if you did get the wire bracelets the other week and you think I'd like to have a matching pair, then they are different sizes of beads in this kit, but you can most definitely, get these ones too, and you can make your matching earrings. Each kit is just £5.99, and I'll go into the rustic here. So you're going to get your satin glass pearl beads, you're going to get your jump rings, you're going to get some ear wires, and you're going to get your copper wire, which is a 0.3 or 28 gauge. It is a copper coated wire, so it's coloured in a beautiful kind of champagne coloured wire here, so you can see it's got that lovely finish to it. And in this bundle, you're going to get the rustic oak beads, and you're also going to get the soft gold, and they're 3mm in size. So here we've got those beautiful rustic oak coloured ones, so you can see how they look. And if you click on this image, you can see how that gorgeous soft gold looks. That to me has got more of a bronzy overtone to it, but really, really pretty. And of course, you can mix your colours up as well if you wanted to add, extra into there. You don't have to just use one colour of bead if you don't want to. So they're £5.99, making up 3 pairs of earrings. This one is your very pretty vintage colourway in silver. So you've got your same size 3mm satin glass pearl beads here, but we've got 2 lovely colours. This is on the silver wire. We've got the vintage rose and the violet. So there is your vintage rose. I'll show you them again in a moment on the mat, so you can see they've got like a kind of pink colour to them. And then your violet is absolutely beautiful. My pictures don't do these justice, and unfortunately not having my ring light is probably not going to show up the lovely kind of satin finish to these as well. So they're your kits today, just £5.99 to make 3 pairs of earrings in whichever colours that you choose. I think it might be nice if you wanted to mix the violet with the kind of vintage pinky ones in those, they'd look lovely together. So they're your Simone earrings if you want to check those out. Let me bring my mat back in. There we go. I'll bring you up and have a quick look at the comments so you can see the colours that I've got there. Oh, we are having technical issues across the board. We've got no Facebook, I believe. I thought it was a little quieter than usual. So Camille's saying no Facebook today. Joanne is saying she's in a bright and sunny Coventry. Jackie's in as well. Always sunny when we see you, Natalie. Ah, Jackie, thank you. It's not feeling very sunny and bright today, but I've put a nice bright pink on just to kind of cheer me up again. Good morning to Anastasia as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can go into the settings, if we can bring Facebook in. It's just one of those frustrating things at the moment. My camera didn't want to come on this morning. Then it didn't want to flip the right way round for some reason. And now, see if we can pop it through the Totally Beads Facebook. And that should be working. No, it's saying offline. What I'll do is I will share this as always at the end. So I'll share it on the Totally Beads Handmade group. And I will also share it on my Facebook pages, so you can find me on Natalie Pattern Wire Artist. And of course, it's going to be here on YouTube and on both channels, the Totally Beads one and my own one as well, to catch up at any point. And you can watch it through the Totally Beads website. So I'm hoping it's come on. It's telling me it's there now, but I don't know. If I've got anyone in Facebook land watching, please give me a wave. And I apologise for the delay. There was a few setting issues this morning. So if you've just joined us, we are doing the Simone Satin Pearl earrings. You're getting 2 colours in each of your earring kits. So you're getting these beautiful rustic oak and a beautiful kind of soft gold finish. And then we've also got these over, which is your violet. There's a delay on my screen now, which is lovely. What's going on today? Picked that up about 20 minutes. Oh, hello. So there you've got that beautiful violet and this kind of vintage pink. Right, I'm going to start making the earrings. Oh, this is the bracelet style that I did the other week. So, of course, if you wanted to, get the colour of your satin beads, these are in the 3mm. You could always match them up if you want that matching set. My camera has now completely frozen. It's going to be one of those days. Just do bear with me. Sorry about this. Bring that on. Monday morning gremlins. It's always the way, isn't it? Right, let's see. Are we down on the mat? I might have to just keep fiddling about with my screen today. Yeah, I think we're on Totally Beads. I do apologise, don't know what was going on this morning. It wouldn't connect and we're having a few camera issues. So good morning to you all. These are the Simone earrings. I'm going to get started with them now. So they're the colours that you get in your kit. You get 2 different colours in your gorgeous champagne gold and 2 beautiful 3mm satin pearl colours as well in the silver, which could match your lovely bracelet if you bought that kit as well. So I'm going to start off with my wire. It's a 0.3 28 gauge wire, and this is the beautiful kind of champagne coloured wire. So I'm just straightening that out. You can see I'm just straightening it through my fingers. If you've got any nylon coated pliers, you can use them, or any wire straighteners of your choosing. I'm going to cut about 30 centimetres of my wire, which is about 12 inches. So I'm just leaning that up against my ruler, and I'm going to give that a little trim off. So this is what you're going to need per e-ring. So 28 gauge or a 0.3 wire, and I'm going to need 12 inches, 30 centimetres for per each e-ring. So I'm just kind of finding the middle. So I'm bringing those two ends up to each other. So bring them up, doesn't have to be completely exact, but if I bring those up, keeping those wires nice and straight, and kind of fold it in half so I've got that centre. And I'm going to start off adding my 3mm satin pearl beads. I'm going to take these lovely kind of soft gold colours. So I'm just going to open up my strand there. I know they're getting a bit too long. Camille says your nails are really long. I bet you get seed beads caught in them. I do a little bit. I do sometimes, yeah. So I'm going to take off my satin pearl beads, and to begin with, I'm just going to add 4 onto one side. So I've got one long length of wire. It's not that long, but I'm going to refer to them as one side and the other side. Now I've kind of split it in half. So to begin with, I'm just going to put on 4 of my pearls. Now, if you are using a thread, I would suggest that you add a needle onto each end of your sides, and that will help you form these earrings. But I'm using the wire today because it's strong enough but fairly fine that you won't see it, and you can get that nice shape and texture quite easily. So I've started off by adding 4 beads onto the middle of my wire, and then I'm just going to take one more bead and I'm going to put it onto one side, doesn't matter which, and then I'm going to bring back the other tail end through that same bead. So it's kind of like a right angle weave in the sense that I'm taking that one bead with one drill hole, and I'm bringing one wire through one side and one wire side through the same bead, but so they pass in the opposite direction. And I'm just going to pull them gently. Now, the reason why I've bent the wire slightly to begin with is just so I know where the centre is. So I'm not going to end up with one really long tail in comparison to the other. So I'm just gradually going to pull on both sides until I've formed that first little loop. Now, each time I'm creating one of these loops, they're going to share this top bead, and they're going to have 5 beads in each little loop. So they're kind of making that kind of flower shape. But I want to start creating the circle. So I'm going to make this pattern, and the way that that works is I'm just going to add 2 beads onto one side. So in this case, I'm just going to add 2 of the beads onto the left and let them fall down towards that one. And then I'm just going to put 1 bead onto this side. So 2 onto one and 1 onto the other. And it's always going to be the one with 1 bead that eventually forms this kind of inner section of the circle. So if you want to, you can put 2 on each, but you would have to draw back through the last bead on this one. So again, popping it, in this case, I'm just doing 2 on one, 1 on the other side, and then 1 onto whichever side, and bring that back through. And again, just draw those wires down. Be nice and gentle with them. Keep the wires nice and straight. So I tend to just run them back through my fingers at the end, just to keep them nice and straight. And you can see we've got our next bead, little cluster. Still got 5 beads on there, but we're sharing this one at the bottom. And we're going to keep doing that till we've got 7 links or 7 little loops. So 2 beads onto the outer side, so my left, 1 onto the other side, which will be the inner side on the right, and then take another bead and pop it onto one side and bringing back the tail end of the other side through, so those wires or threads cross in the middle. And then very gently I'm just going to draw them down, and you can see now it's starting to make that slight curve. So that's my third. Two beads onto the left, one bead onto the right, and then picking up another bead to draw that loop together by passing the wires back through the same bead, pulling the wires away from each other to join that fourth loop together. Two beads onto one side, onto the left, one bead onto the right, and then one on to whichever side you choose. Pass those wires through and draw down. So that's my fifth loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to make 7. Morning Sheila, hope you're doing well. I'm glad that I've got you in now. I do apologise for the slight delay this morning. Okay, so if you wanted to, I find it easier just to remember to do 2 onto one side and 1. But if you wanted, you could do 2 on each side, like this. Firing that bead all over the place. Doesn't want to go on. If you put 2 on to each side, then it's this last one on the inner side on the right that you've got to draw that back through. So whichever way you like to remember it, doesn't make a difference. What will happen is each loop will have those 5 little beads on, but they will share that top one. And as we're having 2 on the outer side, then it's creating that lovely curve. So this is going to be my last one I do before I draw them in together. So again, 2 beads onto one side. A nice quick make these earrings, they don't take long at all. You can use your wire a bit like a needle just to pick up your beads off the mat if you want to use it that way rather than picking them up individually, but it is a very quick make. And then I'm going to draw that back down again. So I've now got 7 loops here. So I'm just going to kind of curve it in, kind of accentuate that nice curved shape. Hi Debbie, I hope you're well. We've all been late today, Debbie. I've been having some computer issues and then Facebook wasn't wanting to play. These are the Simone rings, so if you want to check out the kits on the website, you get 2 colours of your satin glass pearl beads in 3mm in each kit. There's a silver and a champagne gold colourway, and they're £5.99 each. It's going to make up 3 pairs of earrings, so you can mix your colours if you want to. So once I've created those 7 loops, I'm going to make my 8th loop to join it together, and I'm kind of going to do it in a very similar way where I'm going to add on 2 beads onto one side, onto the outer side, which is the left, And then I'm going to take one bead and pop it on the inner, on the right hand side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to share this bead here. So this top one from my first loop, just above my nail there. This one. So I'm going to open it up a little bit. I want to keep this wire nice and straight. And I'm just going to bring that tail end of wire on the inner wire, so the right hand side wire is just going to pass through the drill hole in this bead here. Just this one. And I'm going to just draw it out just to keep that wire nice and straight. And then as I pull it around, it's going to close up that circle. And then this bead here, this last bead on the left that we put on, I'm going to draw this right hand side back through that bead on the left. So I'm not adding any of the extras on for that one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw that down, and you'll see I've now locked in and completed that full circle here. Now there's lots of things you can do with this design. If you wanted to, you could add additional beads along the outside. You could bring your wire through back into the center and have a bead in the center. You could lift up these two wires and twist them and create a wrapped loop. What I want to do is I want to bring my wires up so they finish at the same point. So you can see here, I've got this tail end now coming out on the right hand side. I'm going to pass that back through all 4 of those beads in that last little loop. I'm going to be really gentle with this, because if I put too many kinks in the wire, it can snap. So I'm just going to draw it through one bead at a time. Use your tools if you want to. And of course, if you're using a needle and thread, then you can just bring that thread back through and tie off in any way that you want to. Tie a little knot in it, but we can't really tie a knot in wire. We have to wrap. So I'm going to bring that through the next bead here. And it's coming out the other side. It's coming out around the back at the moment. Again, doesn't really matter. But I'm doing this slowly because as this loops, I just want to keep that wire nice and straight. So just taking my time with it to pull that back through. Just flipped it over now because it come out towards the back, but I'm just going up through those 4 pearls in that little loop. Straighten out your wire tip if you need to. You can always trim it off, if a little bit off if you need to, just to get that through. But you've got some nice sized drill holes in these beads, so even though I'm bringing that wire through a few times, it's still easy enough to just come around. So just making sure it doesn't loop too much, because then it can put a little bend in. Just doing it nice and slowly, nice and gently, not putting too much pressure on it, just feeding it through back with my fingers. If it does become a little bit stuck, then just follow that wire around to pull it into place. So I've come through those beads. I just want to come back through this next one here, and then they'll both meet in the center at the top. So again, turn it round if it's easier for you. Bring in that wire through that last bead. Just do it slowly as that loop starts to form. And pull that back through. So you see now I've got my wires coming out at the same place, so they're in between that beads and those 2 beads at the top. And I've fully closed that circle. Again, if you wanted to now, you could create a little wrapped loop very easily using both of those wires. I would twist them together just to firm it up as one, or I would hold them together from a pinch at the top there, and then just wrap around those pliers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make this earring form. So I'm going to wrap off those wires at the top and then pop my little jump ring over, so my ear wire can go either directly on to my lovely beaded circle, or I can attach that jump ring. So you can't tie a knot in wires. If you're using thread, tie it in a knot, half hitch knot, surgeon's knot, whatever you want, and then you're done, just trim off. But if you're using the wire like I like to do, because I think it just gives it a nice shape, you know, I can bend these in, I can manipulate that shape as much as I want. I'm just bringing one of those wires through this little hole here in the circle, and I'm just going to wrap it round itself. So I'm going to do that about 3 times. Bring the tail end through the middle. And I'm just not being too firm with it. It's coming through the middle. Move that one out the way if you need to. And then if I just hold it that way, you can see I'm just giving it a little pull and it's wrapping around itself there. And then I'll do the same with the other wire. So bringing that tail end through the middle, and then it's wrapping around the wire that's going through the middle of those beads. Give it a little pull. And I'm just going to wrap them around. I'm going to do probably about 3 on each, but just until I've wrapped and those 2 wires have kind of joined up. And then when I'm happy with that, I might do 1 more on this one just for good luck. I can then trim off. So what I'm going to do to trim off is I'm going to bend those wires down a little bit so they come in on the inside, and I'm going to trim off nice and close just the tail ends of the wire, and then with a pair of pliers I'm just going to tuck those little ends in, and I want those little ends to finish, if possible, on the underneath of the earring, so there's no way they're going to be sticking out and catching. Just very gently tuck that wire around and in. So if you can see, I've now completed that lovely little circle, and all I need to do is take my ear wire or my jump ring. Now your ear wire can go directly on to your earring here as well if you want to. All you would need to do is just open up that little loop. If you want to have a little bit of extra kind of dangle, then you can open up your jump ring. I've got lovely sized jump rings in here in your kit. They'll be included. I think they're 5mm by 1mm outer diameter. I'm just going to hook that through, and that's going to be where those wires wrap. And then through my earring hook and close down. So there you go, nice quick little earrings to make, really, really easy. I'll run through the steps again very quickly with you so you can see how they're made. So I'm going to take 30 centimeters or 12 inches of the 0.3mm wire or the 28 gauge. I'm then going to add on 4 beads to begin with onto the middle, and then bring that through a 5th bead with a right angle weave. So I have 1 bead on one side, and then that tail end is just going to come back through and pull down to close that loop. I'm then going to add 2 beads onto one side, which will be the left, and 1 bead onto the right hand side, and keep drawing through an extra bead until I've formed up those 7 loops. When I've got that lovely shape ready, I'm just going to do the same to close my loop up on my 8th loop, 2 on one, 1 on the other, but then I'm going to pass through, so we're sharing that bead on that side, and then back through the one on the right just to close up. So they're your beautiful earrings today. You're going to get enough to make 3 pairs of earrings. They're now your matching pair. So you're going to get 3, not 3 earrings, 3 pairs of earrings. So if you choose from the champagne gold colourway on the rustic, you're going to get your rustic oak beads, which are these lovely kind of, they have got, I think, a bit of a kind of a brown tone to them. And then your soft gold, which has almost got kind of a bronzy olivey tone to them. And then your 3mm beads in there. You're also going to get your wire, your jump ring, and your ear wires, and they're £5.99. Or you can choose from the silver pair, and you can have a mix of your colours if you want to mix this up. So that is your violet, the more blue looking one, and then you've got the vintage rose, which has got kind of like a, well, a rosy kind of pinky lilac-y colour to it as well. And they're also just £5.99 for your kit today. So 3 pairs of earrings in the Simone Satin pearl colourway. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a nice quick make. Of course, you would have to do exactly the same, just make your next earring, so you've got 2. And if you follow that pattern, you don't have to worry too much about having the symmetry of your earrings, because they're going to look exactly the same. Joanne says, I love that satin finish. They are really lovely, really lovely. Anastasia's hoping that everybody has a blessed day. I hope you're feeling better. Anastasia, I hope your back's okay. Sue says, looks lovely. We're going to catch up later. Jen says, very pretty. Thank you for a fantastic make. Alison says she loved it too. So thank you so much for being with me today. I'm going to be back with you on Wednesday. I think I'm doing necklaces on Wednesday. I'm not too sure which one it is. It might be my ocean themed ones coming up for you. I haven't got my diary to hand, so I don't know what I've scheduled. Camille's asking what you're going to miss out on Wednesday. I don't know, my love. I'm going to have to double check. I wouldn't want to say. I'm sure you can head over to the schedule if you are on YouTube as well. If you click on lives, you'll see all of my playlists, but you'll also see all the up and coming ones as well. So come and join me at 10 a.m. UK time on Wednesday if you can. I hope you all have a